We love talking about great people, places, and events that are happening, and we're going to cover all three this morning as we have the co-founder of Templeton Rye joining us in studio right now, Keith Kirchhoff. Thank you for being here.
Well, thank you
let's
for
talk
having
about
us.
a great business, Templeton Rye, and a great event that's coming up August 7th.
Yes, August 7th, we're having what I call our soft opening. It's going to be for family and friends. It's an invitation only, but in some of our industry people that we're going to be showcasing our new distillery, our visitor center and gift shop, and it's going to be an exciting time for us.
I was going to say, good friends with people over at Templeton Rye, and we've been hearing there's a lot of activity that's been happening over in your area. Kind of explain what's been happening over the last few months.
Well, Jackie and Lou, it's always been our long-term plans to have the distillery and have everything back in Templeton, and we invested $35 million in this project.
$35 million?
$35 million for the visitor center and the distillery and so forth. So that, and you got to understand, the town of Templeton is a community of 350 people.
Right.
And where exactly is Templeton? Because people have heard about Templeton Rye and heard about Templeton. Where is it located?
Well, during Prohibition, it was very well known.
Yeah.
But no, Templeton is an hour, 45 minutes just northwest of Des Moines here. Take 141 and you'll see the sign distillery, and you'll see our distillery now because we have the top of our distillery. We changed the skyline of Templeton.
You have. That's how big it is.
It's a huge complex, yeah.
Wow. So what does that mean now that you have a distillery in Templeton? What does that mean for your brand?
Well, it means a lot because we're going to do everything there. You know, everything, we're bringing it back home. And we're really excited because we're going to have a state-of-the-art visitor center and distillery. Our visitor center tells about all the rich history that.
And for those that might not know all the history behind Templeton Rye, can you give us a brief rundown of what the history is?
During Prohibition, my grandfather and about 40 of his constituents decided to create a whiskey, and they did it because of tough times. Right. And times were really difficult, and you know, they produced a high caliber spirit, and they put it in barrels, and they sold it all over the nation. And Templeton Rye was known nationally during Prohibition, 1920 to 1933. And it was in New York, it was in San Francisco and so forth. And now, you know, we have a fabulous story behind us. All the collection of the stories is kind of compiled in our visitor center now. And it's going to be a very neat experience for a lot of people.
Are you able to kind of see the process of the distillery in the visitor center?
The way it'll work is we're going to take people into our visitor center, and then they can go through the visitor center. Then they will have a opportunity to walk over to our distillery. And the production side, there'll be a catwalk or a walkway that they can view all the production process and watch the still through a glass front window, and then they can also watch the bottling line, and it's very interesting. Then when we're done with that, we're going to take them back and what we call take them through our mock rick house. It'll be a barrel warehouse. It'll be a small version, but it'll give them the idea of what a rick house is like. And then after that, they'll have the opportunity to taste our product in the tasting room. And then I might add, if they get done with their tasting, that we're going to have a special release there. It's a 6-year that's only been aged in Templeton, and it's only going to be available at the distillery.
So you can't purchase it elsewhere. You need to go there.
You have to go to the distillery to buy that certain product. Of course, they can buy any of our other products, you know, our aged whiskey, 4-year and 6-year on the market anywhere. But this will be a special release at the distillery, and you're allowed to buy 2 bottles per day. Per customer.
Okay. So
I want to add, you know, we're going to have tours and stuff. We're going to start tours probably the 28th of August to the general public. And if you're interested, go to our website, TempletonRye.com, and there's a lot of information there. Schedule or your appointment and so forth. And I got to tell you, the veterans will want to bring their veteran card. We're going to have a special thing for the veterans. So anyway.
Good to hear. But if you want a sneak peek, you need to come out there August 7th.
Well,
if you have an invite.
That's if you have an invite.
Oh,
that's a soft opening.
Do I need to know somebody?
Yeah, so maybe you,
who can I know?
You might know. So I want to walk through the process of making Templeton Rye because it's such a coveted product that comes from the state of Iowa. When you start the process of making some rye, some whiskey here, what do you begin with? What are your raw materials, and how long of a process is it?
Okay, you start in, your ingredients are rye.
Obviously it's rye, okay.
Rye, and then you have malted barley, and that's where you get your enzyme.
Okay, malted barley.
Malted
Is that the same type of malted barley that you would use for beer, or is it a different strain?
Well, I'm not in the technicality of it, but Yes, it's a malted barley. You get your enzyme from the malted barley. You mix that, you heat it up, and you hold it at a temperature for a certain while, and then you're ready to go to your. We have 14 10,000-gallon vessels there that they'll actually ferment in, and then after it's done fermenting, then it goes to the still.
And how long of a process does the fermenting?
From start to finish, you grind, you cook, you do that in about 4 days.
Wait, you grind and then you do what?
Well, you bring the rye in, you run it through a grinder, you grind it, and you grind it with your malted barley.
Okay.
And then you have that in a solution, a tank, and you heat it up to temperature, and they hold it for a certain amount of time.
Okay.
And then after, when it's ready to be transferred into the fermentation tanks, that's when you add your yeast and so forth, and maybe some other enzymes. But it's a very unique process. It's going to be very interesting to people because we have sight glasses on like 3 of the tanks.
So you can see the process.
You'll see the different levels. Yeah.
Really?
And
are we still talking the recipe that your grandfather assisted with way back in the day?
You got to remember, my grandfather worked outside the law.
You're within law.
Yeah, I'm a different generation. I hope my friends aren't watching it. They're gonna. But we have a lot of fun with it. But anyway, it's based off the Kirchhoff family recipe.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So then you take the end product and you bottle it up. Now you put it in the barrels first.
No, our end product is actually we have to the process after it goes through the distillery and the still. Then we have our quality control.
Of course you do. I'm sure you're part of that, aren't you?
And you know, somebody's got to do it. But no, it's I always say that. Yeah, you got a tough job, but somebody's
got to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Lou, you'd be interested in help. But anyway, no, it actually it passes quality control. Then it goes into a barrel. We pump it into take it over to our barrel. It's barreled, and then it sits there for 4 years at least.
Wow.
And then some of our products is 6 year, and eventually we'll have a 10 and maybe a longer aged product. But you have to understand, you put 53 gallons in a barrel, you don't get 53 out.
What do you get out normally?
Well, it all depends how long it's in there, but most generally I always tell people, you know, about 7/8 of a barrel in 4 years, probably 2/3 in 10 years.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Well, the barrels breathe. The barrels have to breathe, otherwise you cannot get your process to work.
Right.
You won't have an aged product.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, those
they
barrels
wrapped
are
one
famous for the
in
flavor.
down at our distillery years ago, and they wrapped it in plastic. 4 years later, they took it out, and it was still clear. You have to have that air to wood to charcoal contact, and you get your color from the barrel. The barrels are all charred on the inside.
Right.
Unbelievable.
Amazing process. But you have a chance now, toward the end of the month, to go and see the process and how it's.
At the end of the month, you'll be able to see everything in our distillery, in our visitor center and gift shop, and then through the distillery. Our barrel warehouse is, due to the distance and so forth from where it is from our facility, we aren't going to have tours, but there's going to be videos of that. They'll see the barrel fill in and everything.
Wow, that is so cool.
If people want more information to learn what's going on, where should they go?
Well, let's go to TempletonRye.com.
I like it.
And schedule your tour, and we'd love to have you, and then you'll have an opportunity to taste our product. The tastings are free, but the tours is what we're going to have charged a little bit. But we wanted to stress the veterans will have a special deal.
Okay,
veterans,
sounds
go check this out. Keith, I think you just created a new destination here in the state of Iowa. Congratulations.
Great to see, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Jason.
There it is, folks. It's legendary, and you have a chance to check it out firsthand. It's 9:41, and we will take care of a little bit of biz, and we'll come back with totally serious news next on CW Iowa Live.